A defiant tone from Iran's supreme leader one day after Iran and world powers extended the deadline over Iran's nuclear program. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei says Western powers failed to bring his country to its knees over the issue, and that's a quote. After more than a year of negotiations, Britain, China, France, Germany, Russia, and the United States failed to finalize a deal with Iran on the country's disputed nuclear program. The parties did agree to extend the deadline 7 months to June 30th. That extension gives negotiators up to 4 months to agree on a framework, then another 3 months to work out the details so an accord can be signed. For more on Iran's nuclear talks, I'm joined by Haleh Esfandiari. She's the director of the Middle East program at the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars. Haleh, thanks for being on the program.
Thanks for having me.
So why do you think there wasn't a deal in Vienna?
Well, look, I mean, the Iranians have to follow a very strict red line set by the supreme leader, and the P5+1s have also their guidelines and also their limitations. And I think when Undersecretary Bill Burns and Foreign Minister Zarif met in Oman, the idea was to see whether these, the differences can be bridged. And both hoped that it was doable, but no matter how hard both sides worked in Vienna, precisely especially because of the red lines that were set in front of the Iranian negotiating team, and they tried to push it to the utmost limit, they could not reach an agreement. But the positive aspect of it is that it was not a complete, cutoff of negotiation and discussion. And the 7 months will give at least the Iranians an opportunity to go over all the details that they were not able to resolve in Geneva and in Vienna, and probably try and resolve and solve the issues when they get back together with the P5+1. President Rouhani, the president of Iran, it was quite unusual for him to go immediately on national television and try and calm the disappointment of the people around the country who had hoped for a deal. And he said, we will continue until we have a deal.
So let's talk about the extension. The decision to extend the talks for such a long period, 7 months, you say that's a good thing. A lot of people see that as a big gamble. Certainly a lot can happen between now and then, and that could deter a final agreement.
Look, I mean, 7 months are better than 2 months, because a year or 14 months of negotiation got us where we are now, namely the interim deal was set up, which was very good for the Iranians. But, and in the next 7 months, at least Iran will have access to $700 million a month from its own frozen assets. So there is a hope that the Iranians will convince Ayatollah Khamenei and other hardliners, I mean, the negotiating team will convince them that they really need to make some compromises in order to get a final deal. 7 months is quite a long time. But on the other hand, I mean, the United States Senate is going to change hand in January, and we are not sure, I mean, we know for sure that a Republican Senate will not be so receptive as a Democratic Senate was to a possible deal with Iran.
All right. Thank you so much, Haleh Esfandiari. Thanks for your time.